Well, it's a beautiful early spring morning. We're in deepest, darkest Essex at Churchgate Fishery, and I'm going to be joining my good mate Matt Godfrey, a top match angler. And now that the Korda and Guru boys work so closely together at Korda HQ, we're always talking about different methods and approaches that will help us both learn from each other. So it is a typical crossover day. I'm going to be joining him on the seat box, and hopefully we're going to learn a bit, show you how to get the best out of the new goos. Must stop meeting like this, mate. Do you
Terrible.
know what I mean? Been a while, hasn't it? Over a year, right. Big day today because, as you know, we're always chin-wagging in the office, aren't we? And I feel a little bit strange being stood here talking to a master match angler, but you feel like you've got a bit to learn with the goo and that.
Oh, definitely. You know what it's like. We've got you, Dovey, Spooner. I see you in office all the time, putting little bits in little pots, giving them a little shake. There's always a bit of an essence kicking about. I want to know more.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've found, I mean, I had a lovely day's fishing with Pem on the pole a few weeks ago, and the goo turned the session on its head for both of us. And he made a remark. He went, I wonder how many fish I've left in a lake. And genuinely, I think one of the biggest problems is when you're match fishing in the summer, you boys are getting so many takes, aren't you, so quickly. So you probably think, well, how could you physically get any more? And you probably can't. But this time of year, when it's a little bit cooler, it's a little bit slower, there are definitely things you can add into your fishing from our game, the same as we can take bits from your game that puts more fish on the bank for everyone. So you've got a big armoury down here.
A lot of bait.
So what are you thinking? What would be your standard approach now? If you were here now at Churchgate, bottom lake, you were going to chuck out, what would you be starting with?
Probably out. This time of year, fishing for like an odd carp, some F1s, maybe a bream. It'd be an hybrid feeder. But if this were a match today, there might be 20 blokes around the lake. I can guarantee that nearly all of them would have plain micro pellets, 2mm fish meal pellets, and they'd have a yellow, a white or a pink wafter on the hook. And if you went round a commercial fishery during a match, 90% of people would all be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, well, what we've got here, I've actually bought the 3 new goos, okay, and they are predominantly all about localising the fish's mouth to your hook bait, and obviously as close to the feeder as possible. And I've got one last little beauty here. This is a tiger nut.
Right.
And what we're going to talk about today is about a little bit about your tiered fishing. And this is about if you've got it in your loose feed, a goo, then obviously your hook bait really has to stand out on top, because you know if everything's the same, it's match to hatch. It's not really, that hook bait doesn't then stand out. So that's why the new goo's brilliant to put all around the hook bait, even a little bit on the feeder, but this tiger nut is magic in your loose feed. So I'll keep it simple. So I've only bought one from the existing range.
Right.
And we've got the three new ones, so you could get a bit of confidence in them. So I'm really intrigued. I mean, why don't you first chuck out how you're going to chuck out. He's out there then, Treacle.
Went in nice, that one did, didn't it?
Yeah, should we start the stop clock? Yeah.
Why not?
See. Because on this feeder, you haven't actually, we haven't put any goo on the actual feeder, have we? It's just your normal micro pellets, and you've got a gooed up hook bait.
Yeah, literally, that's what most people would do. They wouldn't even have the gooed up hook bait on.
Yeah, just a plain Jane.
Yeah. He's on.
Yeah, so that was.
Go on, what are we on?
5:35.
Right, what are you saying? Come on, I'll have your coffee on this. What are you saying it is?
Well, I reckon it looks like, what is it, F1?
You're saying F1?
I don't know.
You've gone for favourite, haven't you, already?
Well, that's it. Yeah.
I'm going to go for small carp then.
Oh, yeah.
Little bambino mirror or something.
Not pulling hard enough.
What we got? Oh, I reckon I'm buying you a coffee, mate.
Oh, yeah. No barbels on that, mate.
Formula 1, isn't she?
Formula 1.
Hey. Nice pretty one now.
Let's have a look at her then.
Lovely little formula. Pretty fish.
Yeah, I'd need 2 hands for that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Big, that's what we get working up in coal mines up north, mate. Big hands.
There you go. See you, mate.
First off, I asked Matt to use the tiger nut goo onto his hybrid feeder, a lovely, subtle, sweet and highly attractive goo. His mainline match hook baits have already been soaked in isotonic goo. However, to really speed up the reaction from the fish, we add a small amount inside the feeder and a little bit on top just prior to casting.
That's how I like it. A little bit wet for this temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of moisture. Yeah. Lovely that, isn't it?
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same spot.
Same spot. Start the stop clock. Oh, there you go. That didn't take long. 1 minute 31.
I don't know what to say.
1 minute 31. And it's a carp, isn't it? It's a carp, isn't it?
I don't believe it, man. Don't believe it.
So what was that? 4 times as quick?
Got to be, hasn't it? I'm not very good at maths.
I'll get me coat. I'll see you later. It's been a good day.
I don't believe it. When I nailed the first one after 5 minutes on my old faithful pellets, I thought, yeah, they're going to work as normal today. Then I'll come along, smeared a bit of the old tiger nut on there. I was sort of giggling to myself when he were doing it. Chucked it out, a minute and a half later, we've got one on. Done my head in, man.
Go on then, slosh it back. Let's go again.
Happy with that one, boys?
Go for a plain Jamie, you're boring micros. Let's see how it goes. Could have been a fluke, couldn't it?
Could have. I don't know what to say, you know. He's got a cheeky smile there.
Well,
with Matt now recasting without the goo on his feeder, I was confident things would slow up once again.
oh yes, the clock. Here we go. Because they're eating all them.
He's on.
He's on now.
Cheeky.
5 minutes. Exactly.
Not as big as that one on the goo either.
What?
It's not as big as that one on the goo. Isn't it?
Caraccio, yeah.
Our Italian friend. Hey, Caraccio.
Caraccio. Come on, mate.
Cheers, mate. Had my third cast. Plain Jane again. I thought maybe it was a bit of a coincidence that we nailed one on goo, because it could have been. Chucked it back out plain. 5 minutes to get a bite. That's like 4 times as long as it took with goo.
With the tiger nut goo already displayed, it was time to take things up a notch. The pink berry really does pack a punch with its unique smell and vibrant taste. This is especially important in cold water, where you need to make an impact to wake up docile fish. But can I prove it to Matt?
Stop clock. On the deck.
On the deck, she's down, mate.
What I could do is stick that to your head. Like that. Stop clock on your head.
Paddingtons, places like that, everyone's sat in a straight.
Oh, here we go.
Never.
103.
Flipping heck.
Yeah. It's all right, this stuff, eh?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Hang on, that first cast with goose saved me 3.5 minutes. That second cast with goose saved me 1.5 minutes. Imagine if you were catching one every chuck, how many more you could catch over a 5-hour match, saving that time.
It's really easy to create the perfect gooed up hook baits. The type to use for this is the Supreme variety. These are ideal for penetrating right through to the core of the hook bait. This is brilliant for triggering reactions from monster carp across the planet and also smaller coarse fish on commercials. Simply drizzle some on, just enough to coat the baits in the tub, shake them up, leave them to soak that in, then repeat the process. These will get better with time, to the point that when you cut a whitebait open, you will see that the goo has penetrated right into the centre, giving you longer leakage time. Then you know you have an absolute sponge of magic attraction. Ooh. Having proven to Matt just how much quicker you get bites using the goo, it was now time to have a play and see if we can use a method to pick out larger specimens that could be in the swim. The new Guru maggot feeder is the star of the show, but I've added a little bit of foam to help act as a liquid carrier. This will pump out soluble attraction that the fish will locate and hone in on, whilst the maggots wriggle out. The setup is complete with a rig called the spinner, often used in big carp fishing.
No, it must have been.
Oh,
big.
ow.
Are we on? Bigger?
Not sure. Don't think it is. I think it's a F1 or something. Don't think it's a carp. Don't know.
Bigger?
Biggest fish at day, mate, so far. F1.
Yeah, all everything playing to plan, isn't it?
I know he's a little bit crazy because I have to work in office with him, but I'd never use an hook bait that big or an hook that big or put some foam in a feeder. It's crackers, but biggest fish at session. Fair play. got me thinking, you can use goos as a method in itself. Catch a few on one, nick a fish on another one. There's about 20 different kinds, so my head's going to be fried this next 12 months trying them all.
Interestingly, the day seemed to have been filled with F1s, and I was pretty sure that was because the king carp had migrated to shallower water out of the cold wind, so a little move was in order to prove that final point, and how quickly you can make things happen with the goo.
You have, hadn't you? No. What me rotted God, man.
It's a mirror carp, I can tell. Wow, yeah. It's a lot. Well done, mate. Well done, kid.
Enjoyed that, mate. A little bit of stalking.
Location, location, location. So what we were using in our normal swim is catching lots of fish, but there weren't many of these about. Back of the wind, cold water, got in there, same method, under that tree, about 15 seconds, gooed up to the max, king carpio.
Tiger nut special.
Yeah, you like it, didn't you?
I love it.
Yeah, isotonic cook bait, tiger nut on the feeder, tiered system.
Instant, wasn't it? Proper instant.
It is instant, mate. Do you know what, it's lovely to get out with someone like Godfrey, because even though he hasn't used the goo that much, he is a really open-minded angler, and he's one of those people that I think will learn to use it and become devastating at using it as well. And as I kept saying all day, that old adage, how many fish have you left in the lake? Don't worry about the ones you've caught, how many have you left out there that you could have caught?